Hello guys, how are you doing? Yeah, this whole week I've been having internet issues. Hopefully today there won't be that many. Anyway, how have you been, guys? Hello Rohit. Hello someone I can't pronounce your name. Hello Nat Chanong Wang. How are you doing? How is everything? Yeah, so today we're going to be making this scene here. Let me just paste the link in the chat if you want to check out the reference image and everything else. Finally, it's just been rough. I couldn't get the stream to work for more than a few days, and even today it was kind of failing. Everything is somewhat good. I've been having a few internet issues. Hopefully they are not going to be a problem today. Hello Bright Bun. Oh Bright. Burning Bright, how are you doing? How's everything? Okay, so let's just get started and not get too much. Yeah, so I think today I released another add-on. If you haven't checked it out, it's called the Vibrant Color Addon. And I'll show you how it's going to. Yeah, waiting since yesterday. Yeah, I know. I was having a few issues. So I just released a new add-on. I'm going to show you how it works here. But if you want to check it out, you go to that page. So let's start working on this. And I think I'm going to be a bit faster before my internet breaks again. I found this on ArtStation. I don't remember the art's name. Let me try and get him. The link is the one I've posted in the chat. So let me go to that just to look at his work. Yeah, so he's called Bali Rods. I don't know. Yeah, and this is some amazing work, some amazing pieces. So let's see how we can get to do something similar to this. And yeah, let's dive in. Let's dive in. We can start with the axe. Just going to start with a plane. I rotate it. Do we really have to do everything from scratch? I'm not going to do everything from scratch. We have a lot of axe, so we don't have to model these. I can go to my asset library. Link in the chat if you want to see the add-ons I'm using. I'm just going to go to my and I've updated the add-on. Now it includes a search feature, so if you want to search for assets, it makes it easier. I'm going to go to my building parts. Let me see if I can get some axe. You can see it now has a search feature, which I think is very handy. I can start with this arc here, or this arc here, which I think is similar to this. Add that to the scene, and you see we have now a starting point. I don't have to start from scratch, and we have done these. Thank you. Yeah, we have done these types of arcs quite a few times. So you can go back if you want and watch the other videos and see how we did this. And now I can also grab this arc here, just add it in. Yes, the scale is a bit high. Yes, I think it's using this scale is a bit high. Let's just make sure we reset everything, origin to geometry, like that. I'm going to just give it the same material as this. Link materials are like that. Maybe apply the scale. And I think we can have it fit in this area here. Just going to scale it up a bit. And just let me call this tempo or something. Tempo corridor. Because for this scene, I think it's going to be mostly about the lighting. So let me turn on some ambient occlusion, some bloom, some screen space reflections. Have this moved somewhere here. Hi there, how are you? I'm doing great. How are you? And I think we could use some symmetry here. I'm just going to grab these faces here. I think I need to rotate these 90 degrees like that, so we have something like this. And I see we even get those decals around here. I think I'm going to also scale this on the X so that it looks, it somehow matches the shape like that. Going to grab this, give it a mirror modifier on the Y. Are you going to do 20 minutes challenge again? You want that? Maybe we could do that. No reason why not. Let me get a timer, but I'm not sure what this. Let me just, yeah, let's add the timer there, just to see how long it takes us to do different, to reach different milestones. So just going to grab this, add a mirror again, select this as the mirror object. Now we have that. I just need to elongate these pieces, and I think this can also be mirrored on the X as well. Same with this, can just be mirrored on the Y like that. I can grab this piece. I think also need to remove these faces. And these. I was on your Discord. People are making some great renders. Yeah. I think my audience is a bit experienced in Blender. You can see from the work they managed to do. They are not beginners at all. So just grab this down. I think this has to be, let's try using cube projection so that we can maybe unwrap this, and this edge here, or this corner here, I want it also to be extruded down. So just extrude it down as well. And then now we can just add, I think this has to be a bit wider, so maybe let's grab this. Just use my 3D cursor as a pivot point, maybe make it wider like that. Like that. Maybe even taller. And then we can add an array. Let me add my camera as well, somewhere here. Give it a slight rotation. Let me bring back my pivot point. Let's use a 30mm like that. Move it somewhere here. Then just add another array. Like that. And grab these. Like that. Let's add a plane for the ground. I think, let me see if I have any flows in my, as I said, I have updated the asset library to include a search feature, which is very handy. So I can just do flows, and search. Have no flows. Let me see flow. I'll have one, which is just wooden. Hello, Poke. 23 viewers, 10 likes. Thank you for the likes. If you haven't liked, it would be amazing if you did. Okay, so let's see. Let's add a plane. I don't know if I want to use this flow. Let me just add a plane. Let me just use a plane. And let me move the entire setup a bit up, like that. Your work is awesome. Thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you, really appreciate it. Just going to grab another array. And what I can do here is I think to utilize the array we have just added, can divide these. So we add in some extra detail to this. Maybe just select this, Control T. Actually, I want to add in some extra details. See how they would look. If I subdivide this one more time, I can use, let me turn on wireframe. I can use a decimate modifier and just unsubdivide. So that will change the direction of my polygons to have it go diagonal right like that, which is something I could use. Then maybe just grab these, Control B above them. Actually, I want to have, I'm not sure if this is going to be even come out as I want. Let's just go back to the this one here. How are you gonna make those IV? IV actually are very easy. You can use the IV generator, or you can actually today I think we can use the IV generator because I haven't used it in a while. Let me go to my texture folder as Addon, load in my flows or tiles. There's a PBR. This will help me set up the PBR material. I can create a PBR material for this, and I have those tiles. I want this to be object projection. I can apply the scale, and if we rotate these in the Z axis, I think it's the Y axis, yeah, by 45 degrees. No, yeah, by Z 45 degrees, we can have them go diagonal like that. Really love your content. Thank you, Indra Agustina. Thank you. Yeah, the IV generator is great. Yeah, it is. It is quite great. And I think we're going to use cycles for this. And also another thing I could do is let me select my camera here. Switch to cycles. GPU. Preview this. We can use the sun, or we can use the sky texture. I just make sure that the angle is this side. So change this to, let's try 45 or something like that. The elevation can be 45 as well, so that the shadows, let's try 90 for the angle, maybe 80, just so that it has a small tilt, and the angle, the elevation, let's try 25. I don't want really, that's right, 45, 60, let's try 50, around there. Let me make sure that I have the noising. And I want that to start at 10. We can use optics. And now you can see with a bright sun, the concrete is a bit bright. So what I can do is come in here to the concrete shader. Let me see how that looks. It's just this gray material. I can blend it with a different texture. So let me look for a wall. Go into my walls folder and look for some images. I think this could work. I can import it as a texture node. And I can see that this is how it looks. I can blend it with this. maybe multiply it just to make it a bit darker. And I think I need to change the rotation. So maybe let me change this to object mapping. Object. Let's make sure this is object set to object mapping. Same for this. Make sure this is also objects. Let's go back to our reference image. And just make sure is what we're using here. And we can also add a color and another mix node here. Switch this to color. And we can play with the color. Influence the color a bit. I like that. Another thing you can do if you want to control how dark the material looks, you can just duplicate the node again, or use another node, generate another node, and this time use value. This will affect the brightness. So I can control the brightness directly like that. Now for the color, I can control the color, maybe something like that. Just reduce the factor so that we still get that detail. It seems I've lost some of the detail. Let me just check here. This texture is good. This is good. This is when we multiply that texture. When you add the color value, so keep it somewhere settled like that. You know what, I'm actually going to remove this. Yeah, so let's go back to this image. Any plans on making a guide for game ready assets? I think I could do that. I could do that maybe in the future. Use grunge to mix other textures. I could do that. Let me see. So did you guys see Andrew Price's new tutorial? I think it was quite detailed, and there was quite a lot to learn from. Let me see. What? I need to go to my texture folders. Grunge maps. Grunge. I can grab maybe this piece here. Import. You can see how it's mapped. Yeah, I saw the tutorial. It was quite interesting, quite detailed, and there was some nice techniques to pick from. I think this can also use object mapping. Here, like that. And maybe the scale is a bit too high. Yeah, I think that's good. Let's go back to this. I think our hole is a bit tiny, so let's first make it wider. Let me do this in Eevee. Make it wider. Let me just make sure that I'm at the 3D cursor. Make it wider. But you see, when I make it wider, I lose the curve at the top. So what I can do is just go into edit mode. Just grab this side. And just select active selected. Just make the curve, bring the curve back up. Like that. Maybe I'll bring this back down. Like somewhere there. Now let me go back to my asset library. I'll clear search. Now let's go to the ceilings. You see, then I'm also rendering my animation and watching your stream. Ah, nice. Yeah, I guess that would be a good idea, because if you're rendering, unless you have a very powerful PC, you can't really do much. Let me see. Let me search for axe again. See if we can get something we could use. I have this detail here. Maybe let's use this for covering this side. So something like that. Then bring it here. It's a matter of aligning it to fit the curve. It's not a perfect fit, so I'm just going to scale it out a bit and have it somewhere there. Just link the materials like that. And let me go to the assets and see it's in the category of decals. So I'll clear search and go to my decals. Okay. And we can just link the same modifiers, Control L, link modifiers. This just has to around there. And that's where we are. Now we just need, let's go, let's see, guardrails. No, we need some kind of fence. I think I can grab this wall and have it at the back here. So just add that there. It doesn't need this rotation. It also needs the same material as this. Control L, link materials. So you see, when you have your own assets like this, then what you're doing is almost like set dressing, since you are not really doing a lot of modeling. I think I can grab this, have it, I think somewhere like there. I just maybe, let's see. You make it wider. Yeah, true. It is not a beginner tutorial, but there is some tutorials out there which are easy for blending materials. Yeah, because if we just decide to do beginner tutorials every time, then yeah, for a lot of people who are experienced, it wouldn't do for them, because if you have to explain every. Oh, you mean the Andrew? Yeah, it's definitely not a beginner tutorial. And yeah, it's hard to just do beginner tutorials only because there is not a lot of parts. You would have to repeat yourself a lot. I'm going to duplicate this. Still need the mirror modifier. Just also have it here. So we can have nice arch. Like that. And I think what I could do is just duplicate this. Let me apply the mirror, grab this, and I think I could just first get rid of. Let me first hide this and select these pieces. Just make them maybe thicker, like this. because now they're going to become our doors. And hide this, and I can grab this, delete that side, and I can grab, see, something like that could work for our windows. That maybe also just grab these parts here, remove them. Just designing the window now, and I'm not sure what kind of architecture this would be. Set this. Rotate the door 180 degrees. Which one? This 180 degrees. That would be it. It would just be the back side of it, which doesn't look as interesting, I think. Grab this piece, grab this, grab this, grab this. Maybe in video origins, try to scale this down. The idea is just to reuse the assets. We just bridge these edge loops. And, just add in some details like that. And maybe just join the two. Quick mixer is nice, but I think to know how to do it in Blender is also important, like painting some grudge or dirt somewhere. Yeah. And is quick mixer? Yeah, I think it's free. Yeah, it's free. I was wondering if it's not. Okay, now we can use these as doors here, or windows, or yeah, doors, I think. So just align them up. Okay, it has some pieces here, and this. You just have. Okay. Where is my window? Yeah, here. Yeah, I think I can grab this, have it somewhere here, scale it down, just to make it fit better. So we have something like that. I'm just going to grab this piece and maybe add some detail or some columns behind this. I think it will just give us some extra detail. This can also just copy these, Ctrl L modifiers, and so if we look at this, apply rotation, so this is going to be 1.3 on the Y, like that, and mirrored as well, like so. We can grab the camera, just rotate it slightly like that so that we can see what's on in. Did you ever use Cycles X? Yeah, we are using Cycles X for this because I'm using Blender 3. I built a Blender 3 that has Cycles X, and to tell that you're using Cycles X, I can say that the samples, the settings here have changed a bit, and with Cycles X you have the ability to time limit your render, how long each render takes, which is amazing. It's the best feature, I think, about the new cycles, if you would ask me. I think, yeah, I think we can go back to the sky, to the sun, and rotate it maybe 45 or negative 45, which is, let's see, let's try, okay, something, let's try negative 45 again. Okay, 30, I can't use Cycles X because it doesn't work on Mac OS. Yeah, I think that could be because Cycles X is still in its early development, so maybe in the future it will be a bit different. Maybe they'll change that. Let me change the elevation to 25 or 40. If I hide these, just to see where the sun is coming from. I want it to come from 45 degrees, maybe 60, 90, and an elevation of 30 or 35. Now we can bring back a rest like that. So the difference between what we have and what this is that let me first grab a block like this. Actually, I need to bring this in so that I can block the light coming from the back here. I think I'm also going to need to extend this a bit like this, and also extend these, extend these, and then grab this piece and then move it back, grab this, I think I need also block the light in some areas. So one thing we could do, because you see what makes this image look really good is the fact that you have shadow areas and lit areas. So we can grab a piece like this. I'll give it the same material so that it helps out in blocking the light. Add some God rays. I think we can add that as we are about to finish, because that's like a post-production post-processing feature. Should be added later after most of. So I want to block out most of the light so that we have some nice shadow areas. And I think I can also block out light here, and you see that things are looking much better already. Use some fractal action in the scene to make it like a post-apocalypse. We could do that. I think what we could do maybe we could subdivide the floor a bit and use the same technique that Andrew Price used to make his house a bit look old. I can use a displacement modifier with a noise texture to make this look uneven, but I think that's too strong. Just very subtle effect, maybe 0.2, maybe even, just so we can make the surface look uneven. Yeah, blocking out the light makes things look way cooler. Block the front door. Okay. Let's see how that looks. So if I grab this, I want the details to come through, but I also see just blocking out. Let me see. Yeah, something like that. I think we might want to make ours a bit longer or taller as well. Just going to use the 3D cursor as just a bit taller as well. Something like that. Maybe let me move the camera a bit closer, like that. Now you can see all that is left is using an IV generator to generate the IV. Now for the IV generator, I think what we could do, let me first go back to cycles, turn on lights. No. Okay, so with the IV generator, what we want to do is, let's see, where do we want to grow the IV? We want to grow it over this piece, but we first make sure that this is well connected to the wall, like that. Okay, so for the IV generator, we can use, let me go to Edit Preferences, add the IV generator. This comes shipped with Blender. It's an add-on. Has been around for quite some while, quite some time. I think from Blender 2.4 something. Okay, so with the IV generator, where is the IV? Yeah, so it's here. Okay, just select a spot, add IV, and you can see it starts to grow like that, and you can change the seed. Let me bring out the outliner here, outliner, just see where the IV is, IV curve. I need to change. I wish there was a way to update what you have generated, but it doesn't seem like so. Let's see, maximum time, maximum length. Let's try 10. Maximum size. Let's try point that, and add the IV. Okay, so this becomes way too big. Select this, add IV. I think the leaves are too big, so let's see, reset this. Look, the front door is black. The front door is not black. I think it's just a corridor. It's an entrance to a corridor where light is not entering. Okay, so the IV generator is has hung. So let me. Okay, so it worked, but look at this is just too heavy. Let me just go back here. See if I can reset these details. Reset. I want to reset everything, but it seems. Could you make a tutorial on how to make clouds? And let me make a backup copy. Yeah, I think I could make that. I could do a tutorial on that. So the other side, the door is not black. It's just that it's an entrance to somewhere. And we could do that as well, so we can just maybe grab this, remove it. Could do the same by just grabbing these pieces. Could do the same, grabbing the wall, move it to the back. We would need to create a kind of a room around this, so I'll have to do something like this, rotate this. So you would need something like that, and that should give us the same look like that. So like yeah, and I think for this side here, this piece here, just going to grab this and fill it in, so we have something like that. Another detail we could add in is so on every, what we could do is we can just grab at least, maybe, let me see, let me just make sure that this is positioned correctly. So let's just remove the subdivisions first. We can make it so that these pieces have a different material. So I'm going to add a loop here, and maybe a loop here, and a loop around here. So I can grab these faces here, this, that, and go again like this, like that, like that. Give them a new material, assign it to a new material, and for this we can go back to the asset library, or I think I would use the texture folders, go back to my tiles and give that a different tiles texture. So something like this. I can create a new material and assign that to that. You can see just gives this a different material. Just make sure that I'm using object mapping for that material as well. What's the scene of today? We're trying to make this here. We reduce on the strength of the displacement a bit. Now I want this to be mirrored as well. So you can add a mirror like that. And now we have something like that. And maybe we can also just do this. Let me see. Select. Maybe extrude this up a bit. Just grow the selection. Just a small detail like that. Another thing we could do is block the sun from different sides. We don't have to block it everywhere. We can just block it different parts, so we can have an interesting composition. Maybe add a block there and another one there, so that not every place. So something like that. I'm also going to change the aspect ratio just a bit, so that we can capture more of the scene, of the ceiling, like that. And it also helps make it feel like there is something in the outside. So have something like that. 50 viewers. Thank you guys. Thank you. 35 likes. Thank you. If you're new here, you can subscribe or like the channel. So I released another add-on called Vibrant Color Presets, and the good thing about this is that you can experiment with different colors without incurring render times. So for example, if I want to test out different colors here, I can go to the Vibrant Color Presets, and you can find that under my, let me just use exclamation addons. I'll see the link at my Blender Market page where you can download the add-ons I'm using, and you can experiment with different colors here. Yes, you can see I have a few presets here, and you can see this already makes this look way cooler. I have a different color. You see, we're using cycles, but we don't have to re-render the scene again. So I can just play around. I think this also would look cool. It gives us nearly the same thing here. Now let me reset. Can just come here and even create my own colors. See that warmish kind of desert look, or I can go with a kind of a cold look, and I can always reset. So it's a nice way to experiment with the colors just a bit without incurring any render costs. It's a way to have a look development. You can use it for AV cycles, and it works also with the compositor. Hey bro, how much chromatic aberration is too much? That would depend on you, but chromatic aberration is always makes scenes look nice, but it can also make them look a bit small. So it depends on what look you're going for. So I wanted to use the IV generator, but I was having some issues with it. So let's go back to that and see if we can get it to work. Let's try again. Leaf size, let's try to have it at... see. Hello, Screen Hanad. Thank you. How are you doing? So the IV generator seems to not really work for me very well. So instead, I'm just going to do this from scratch. So to do this without the IV generator, we can start with a few leaves. Maybe we can just use a particle system and see how that will go for us. So I'm just going to start with a plane and go to my text folder addons, and let me look for some plants. I think I have some leaves here that we could use. I can get this, create a PBR material. Let me go to my shaders, add creepers manually. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do instead, because the other thing to note about the IV generator is that it generates a lot of resolution. So the plant it generates usually has a lot of resolution, so you have to be careful with that. Want this to have an alpha channel or transparency, so I'll go to this and make sure that I'm using, if I'm in EV, let me first say to EV and make sure that I'm using clip, alpha clip, and the shadow can also be alpha clip, like that. And we can just maybe add some subsurface, subsurface, Have this at point, something like that. I wish there was a way to just pin the reference image here without just it switching every time. So this the best alternative, the best way, the best approach for this would be to trace out the image, but that will leave us with a lot of polygons, which is not something I want. Can add a loop here, maybe a few loops like this. I'm going to grab this edge loop, the middle edge loop, turn on proportional editing, just grab at the top. I think we can use something like a sphere fall off like that, and I can also just do something like that, and you can also add a math node here so that the reflections are not too shiny. So let's do something like that. Let me look at this. I think I can also add a car ramp around there. This is why I don't like the IV generator. It is so daunting. Yeah, it's very hard to get it to work correctly. You have to do a lot of experimenting, and I don't want to turn this into an IV generator tutorial, because let's bring the translucent up And for the color, we want a more greenish color, because this is this would be more of a skin color. So let's just do a 0.1. Sorry. Yes, I think that would give us the look. And we want a few plants. We want a few of these. So I can duplicate this, make a copy of it. Just give this a rotation. Maybe. Let me see. Something like that. So we have a leaf like that. Duplicate this. Scale it up. Just create a bunch of flowers like this, or leaves like that. I think those will be enough. Plants not reflect. Plants don't reflect. Every object reflects light. That's how we are able to see them. So I'm not sure what you mean. Let's see. What else? I think we could use some bump maps. Vector bump detail. Maybe just make sure the strength is not too high. Okay, so that's what we have. And now we can create a plane like this, and just give it a new particle system. Here. We can turn on advanced. We can go to the render settings, change this to collection, and we can grab this and set it to a collection called leaves. Now I can just use that as I'll go to the instancer here, so that it doesn't render this, and I'm also going to make sure that let me see, make sure that these at the center. Also going to make sure that these we only have maybe 500. We also make sure that we have some random rotation. Randomize the rotation and the phase random. I'll change this to normal. You can see now what we have. Yeah, we have leaves like that. So join the walls and add particle system and use weight paint. That would when paint doesn't work very well. Let me just show you the geometry we are working with here. Weight paint doesn't really work well with meshes of low resolution like this. So if I go to weight paint, you can see it doesn't really behave very nicely with and it would also be a lot of, unless if we add a few subdivisions like this, then that's when we will be able to create some nice weight paint. And that means, I don't want that resolution actually, so let me remove that. And removing joining these into a single wall would also take away the non-destructive nature of the setup we have been working with, and for no reason. What we have done here, so if you have a plane like this, all you have to do is just grab it, move it somewhere like this, and just scale down the leaves a bit. Let me go back to my reference. So now all we have to do is just decide where we want the leaves to grow. So I can go to edit mode, just add a plane again here, and you can see now I have leaves there. So now I can just extrude. The edge. I don't really have to apply the particle system or the hair system or the leaves directly onto the wall. I just have to have an emitter, and just have it follow the curve or follow the shape of the wall. So I can just grab this, grab Y, you can see we have this going around, and we can reduce the particles. We don't really need the particles to be that many, so I can just move this around. Actually just hey mate, I have a Radeon RX 570 GPU with 4GB VRAM, and Blender keeps crashing as soon as I select it. Any ideas why? I'm not very familiar with Radeon systems, so maybe someone in chat who is more familiar with Radeon would. Most of my setup is NVIDIA related, so would that be a high-end PC? Because if it's Radeon is quite old. Maybe that's the issue. Because Blender is quite intense when it really requires a good setup. Let's increase the particles just a bit, maybe push them out. And the great thing about this setup is that we can also, if you want some of these leaves to hang like that, all we have to do is just extrude this mesh like to the ground like that, and we have something like that. If I want to make it thinner, I just make this piece. Yo, thank you for subscribing, and that was yeah, sorry I can't pronounce your name, but thank you for subscribing. I can see you can even have these leaves like that. I just increase the number like that, and now with that we can even duplicate this, maybe mirror this on the X so that I can have it on the other column like that. Maybe change this a bit like that so it doesn't have other vines there, or we can just maybe remove this part, just grab, extrude another face like this, just extrude again onto the surface, and you can see we can have another piece going this direction like that. So we can get quite some control over the surfaces like that. And in the source I can change this to have to make sure that this is random as well, not even distributed like that. That being said, 3.0 plus they're working on MPI that will help with the AMD cards. That would be nice. And yeah, AMD is great for CAD, just not great for graphics workflow like Blender. I can do intense mechanical CAD with it, and it's fine. Yeah, the requirements can be a bit different depending on what you're trying to do. So we have managed to create the leaves, but we are lacking the I don't know, are they called vines? The stems themselves. So for the stems, what we can do is just add a curve, and just a curve like this. RTX 3080 Ti giveaway win. Look at this guy with his jokes. I can't afford an RTX 30 myself, so yeah, before I give it out, I think I would keep it myself. I don't have an access to a 3080, so if I could give it out, first I would give it out to myself. NVIDIA more for realism because of optics and CUDA. Why that? Rendering in CAD is no way different from Blender. It's different. It's like rendering in Unreal Engine or any game engine is quite different from rendering in Blender. They work completely in different ways. Let me add a curve. And the reason why I added a curve is that the curve has this draw option where you can draw on surfaces like that. I will just need to make sure that we are drawing onto the surface, so I can make my curves. And this is looking ridiculous. Let me just make sure that my normals are good. Let me just recalculate the normals. Shift N. Actually, I need to recalculate the normals for this. Shift N. Shift N. This Shift N inside like that. What do you guys think about a Quadro versus GTX? What do you guys think? I'm not really sure. I'm not very familiar with a lot of systems. I'm just more familiar with Blender. Okay, let's add the curve again. What I wanted to do is with the curve, you have this option to draw over surfaces, but for some reason, this is not really drawing the surface, the curve as I expect. So let's try again and see. I don't know if this is a bug or something, but it should. Let me see. Okay, this seems to be very buggy. I'm not sure why. Another option is to use a gliss pencil. So if I add a gliss pencil like this, I start with a blank. I can go to draw mode. I can go to draw mode, draw mode here. Just make sure that I'm drawing directly onto the surface, a 3D surface, like that. And you can see that we have the gliss pencil there. Let me change the color to something that is much visible, and I also make sure that the transparency, so you can draw these vines directly. I just need quite a few of them. Some of them are going onto the leaf, which is not what I wanted. Okay, but I can just draw them everywhere like that, like this. And let's have some of them go everywhere. Just make them branch, and the more detailed they are, the better they are going to look. So something like that. And after you're done, you can go out of this and convert this into a curve like that. Now I can just split this into my outliner. So do you do this architecture in Blender? Yeah, I'm doing this in Blender, if that's what you're asking. So you can see I can turn off the gliss pencil, bring back the curve, and you see what we have for the curve. And with that curve, we can go to the curve data or object. Just increase the bevel like that. Shade smooth. Then I think we need to reduce on the resolution, and also, yeah, something like that. you see what we have managed to do. We have the vines are like that. Just need to make sure that they need to be very thin, like that. Give them this a green material. So just do green, like that. So you can see how we can get the vines. Let's go back to cycles just to see. Cycles. Did the vines emit shadow? No. They didn't emit shadows. They just let me see, why are they not? Okay, I think they're out of frame. So let me just let's reset. The shadows are not emitting frames. Those are just contact shadows in Eevee. I'll grab this because it's away from the camera. So just move it. Just going to move it somewhere there. And we can reuse these vines. Just going to duplicate them. You know, let's just create more vines here. Have you seen Blender Guru? Yeah, I did see him. It's a very well detailed tutorial. I watched it. There were also some good techniques there, really good techniques. Because if you add polygons in to vines, it will make more realism. Okay. Yes, the chat is moving a bit fast for me to keep up, so I'm missing some of the messages. But I'll try to go back to them and see. Let's go back to this gliss pencil objects and draw more vines. I'm just going to let me expand this. Just draw. This time, let's try to be a bit more detailed in the vines that we draw, since something like that. Going to create quite a few of these. So yeah, the Ivy generator is nice, but you don't really get a lot of control, and it's kind of, I don't know, buggy and very difficult to use sometimes, as you saw in the first attempt of trying to use it. Do you record a video when you model? Actually, yeah. I have. I don't remember the video, but yeah, I have. You just go into the videos, you will find something. Just make something, these vines, and maybe we could also have some of these grow on this surface like that. So yeah, you can choose to be as detailed as you want. Maybe some going like that. I think for this that could be enough. So then we go back to here. Just go back to object mode, right click, convert to basic curve, and now we can hide this and shut it off. So we have this. Just go to the curve data, give it a thickness, just reduce the resolution, and just also give it the same material, green material. I think we need to shade smooth and reduce the thickness, something like that. and Nightbot. Yeah, Nightbot can be a bit harsh sometimes. It flags some messages that are non-spam. That's something I wanted to disable Nightbot, and maybe try to look for for an alternative, but yeah, I haven't gotten time to do that because I was having some issues with my stream. Okay, so yo, thank you for subscribing, Sebastian Chira. So just going to grab this origin to geometry like that. Just extrude this, maybe scale it down. You can even just grab faces like this, move them around, and you can end up with some interesting look. Just grab these faces, rotate them. Thank you for subscribing, Joshua knows. Just grab this. Extrude up like that. We can even have some hanging, some that are hanging like this, like that. See, I think this technique is actually, I think, better than the IV generator. It just takes a little bit of time to set up, but when it works, it gives you much control than the IV generator. And can even go into the curves here. Just grab a few of them. Shift D, duplicate them around so that we have a few of them like that. Grab this face. Can you suggest an add-on that will be great at model animated and animate a highway interchanger? An add-on that will animate a highway change. I really don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure. And for the ground, that's easy. You can also just duplicate a face from this, or maybe just add a plane directly onto the ground, and maybe make it its own object. Now that should add some leaves directly on the ground like that. Just maybe scale it down, and you can turn it into a path. Maybe something like this. Okay, Blender crashed. Okay, Blender crashed, and now I'm not seeing parts of my building. Let me see if it has been hidden or something. Okay, I'm missing the roof arcs or arches for some reason. Are they here? Not sure why. Not sure why. Let's just grab them, add them back where they're supposed to be. Go back to cycles, look at how things are looking. Let me make sure that This is not rendering. I want to get the gliss pencil object, this here. Let's get rid of it. And I think I want to have some light come through here. So we have these objects that are blocking some of the light. So let's see if I move some of them, maybe grab this wall, move it away just a bit, so we can start to see some light hitting this wall. Maybe let me let's unhide this, just maybe scale it a bit. And another thing we could do is go to the sun and change the size to a larger sun. That will make the shadows a bit softer. So something like that. Yeah, I was working on this ground surface, and what I wanted is to add some leaves around, a bunch of leaves in different areas. It's somewhere there. Let me just use Ctrl to apply and just make sure that this is using the same modifiers, which will give it the leaves. So I'll just also make sure that this is not rendering, something like that, so we can have a bunch of leaves there, maybe another bunch around there. I'm not sure about the scale of the leaves, so let's go back to the particle system and just make sure we randomize the scale and maybe increase the leaf count, maybe to something like 1000. And yeah, so I think the one thing that is lacking in our scene is some color correction. So again, I can use my vibrant color presets to play with the different colors. So I think already that makes it look richer. Also, you see there is a warm effect. So this just gives you the ability to play around with the colors just a bit. I'm not sure which color I should go with, but I think this looks nice, and we can adjust it a bit if we wanted to, maybe something like that. Now remember, this also works in cycle in Eevee as well, so if you want to experiment with that, and if you set up a color that you want, you can save it as well, save the preset of the color. Okay, let's see what else. Add some volumetric in front of the door. Some volumetric in front of the door. I think, let me first reset the colors just a bit, maybe use high contrast. Let's some volumetric in front of the door. So Cycles is very, very slow when it comes to rendering volumetrics. So, but let's see how it will do with this. Just going to add a volume shader, principal volume. Yes, I think actually it's not too slow, and yeah, it does look good. I'm just going to move maybe this a bit there. I like that. And another thing I could do is just grab some of these leaves, which are something like this. Just grab the entire piece and just slap it on one of these doors or windows. I'll see how that would look. Let me first disable Cycles for a second. So I want to just slap it onto the window like that, and just like that. And for this, I'm just going to use quite a lot of pieces, and so maybe duplicate this, have it there like that, and maybe we can also just duplicate this. Let's see how this looks. That's how things look. I think they look nice. So that's with the volumetrics, and that's without. And let me just reduce on the contrast here. Maybe just use a medium or low contrast like that. And let me play again with the settings here. Actually, let me reset and just try to play with my own colors. Something like that. Just going to go to the asset library. I'll look for other things I could do. Let me search for chair here. Yeah, if you have the asset library, I'm making an update just to add in the search feature. So this is going to be the asset library 2.1. So you can search for things. Let me see. What else can we add in? The door isn't visible. I think that's a result of this here. So let me just reduce it to quite, okay, somewhere there. Again, you can still play with the colors. Just use a low contrast detective. Just looking at some of these colors. Reset. You know what? I'm going to remove the volume for now. We can bring it back later. If you want God rays, there are easier way to do it. Let me first get rid of the colors for a second. But the door is invisible. Use two volume shaders. One with some high density, another with a low density. Yeah, I don't like the way it covers a lot of things. So what I'm going to do, instead, if you want God rays, we can just fake them. So to fake God rays, all we need is a plane like this. Like this. Give it a new material like that. Give it a gradient texture like this. The gradient should be spherical, and we can turn on object mapping so that it's in the center like that, and we can scale this in the Z like that. Then we can get some, is it called noise? Yeah, noise texture. Stretch the noise in the X or in the Y axis like that. Maybe reduce the scale. Add a color ramp like this. Just scale this quite significantly I think I'm just going to scale this in the Y. I like that. Just blend the two, and we can use either color ban, or let's try a color ban. I think it's color dodge. Maybe this goes up. Yeah, something like that. And we can add a color ramp here. Let's try color ban and see. Yeah, color ban is what you want, because it gives you those rays like that. Now we can play with the strength, we can play with the detail of the noise, the roughness, like that. Maybe the scale of the noise can be made up, like that. Maybe I can also add another color ramp here. Just have this a bit slow, just like that. Now this we can use shader translucent. You can use a translucent shader with a transparent. If you blend the two, we can use this as the factor. Just see how this looks. Because we are in EV, we need to make sure that we have this turned to alpha blend, no shadows. This is one shader has to be transparent, not translucent. Maybe it's just you can see what we are having. Now I don't want to have to create this material again, so I'm just going to go to my asset library and add this. I'll call this God rays, and just add it to my my asset library. So then I can just come in here, rotate this, maybe scale it down and reposition it in the same direction as I would expect. Let's go to cycles. And you can see we have some nice God rays. If you want the God rays to be more pronounced, instead of using a translucent shader, we can use an emission shader. Can give them a color like that. Can play with the color ban. And maybe reduce on the roughness. Can just fake the God rays. Let me just make sure that I'm using high contrast. Can see how that would look. you are using sky texture, but it isn't visible in Eevee. Yeah, sky textures don't work in Eevee. At least the Nishita option doesn't work in Eevee. The other options do work, but they are not as nice. They don't render very well as the Nishita option. Yeah, so you can see we have some good rays there. Can duplicate this a bit there. So we have, and if I want some variation, I can just make sure that this is using object mapping to. I can play with the scale of the noise, reduce the roughness. No, I was okay. Actually, I was okay with the generated thing. Yes. Let's go back to the reference image. Let's try the same aspect ratio. 1080. Okay, so that is cycles. Let's try setting this up for Eevee, because Eevee is a good real-time engine. We can preview the results much faster than cycles. So let's switch back to cycles. Now, because we're using the Nishita option, we can't see what we want. So I'm going to remove, or just set this to something like 0. Just bring in a sunlight like this. Just make sure it's using a very powerful light. Now, because everything is in the inside, we might have to use some irradiance volume so that we have some global illumination within Eevee. So I'm just going to grab this and just scale it to fit our scene. Just like that. And just go into the samples here, the resolution, and increase the Y so that we have an even distribution of samples. Do you know how to program? Yes, I do program with Python. The addons I made, I'm using here, are addons I've created myself. And you can check out all the addons I've used or made using exclamation addons. I think it's addons. Oh, by the way, I also have a course just showing you how to set up, how to use materials nodes in Blender. So if you want to check it out, the link is going to be added by Nightbot. Okay, so let's see. I want to bake the lighting, so I'll go to indirect lighting, hit bake, and let's see if that will give us some nice results. It can take a few minutes or a few seconds, especially if you increase the samples, the number of samples in your scene. But you see that the scene is getting brighter and brighter. Let me reduce the contrast here, okay, to a low contrast. As you can see that the scene is becoming brighter and brighter as everything goes. Yeah, another thing we could do is, let me first actually disable this. On every door here, or every window, we can add an area light like this. Just go here, just scale it up to fit the window, something like that. And let's bring this up. It will help brighten up the scene. Let me first also delete the light catch. So Duplicate this again using Alt D on the X like that. And somewhere like that. And let's try baking again. If you want to see the reference images I'm using, you can go to this page or this. Yeah, it's where I'll also be posting the project files and behind the scene, sorry, the breakdown of the materials and everything that we have used here. So we're waiting for the light to bake. It can take some time. Let's see. You know what? I'm not going to wait for it. Let me cancel that, delete that. Let's just stick to cycles for this one. So let me switch to cycles. I see how the scene looks when we add in these lights, extra lights. Also going to make sure that the energy of the light is also set back to 1. Let's go back to high contrast. Just grab these lights. Okay, so I think we're getting a brighter scene. The leaves here look a bit too large for my liking. I'm just going to grab them, go to the particle settings, and just reduce them even further, like that. Now we can continue adding in more stuff. I'll just go to my asset library, see what else I could add. Pipes don't fit at the scene. Yeah, I think for this scene, I'm just going to call this complete. But I still want to stream for a little bit longer. I wanted this to go on for 2 minutes, for 2 hours. We just done 1.5 minutes. So let's look for something else we could do so that we can reach that time. So I'm going to go to ArtStation. And look for some interesting art pieces how we can do. Maybe let's search for light study. By the way, this is a nice tip if you want to learn more. You can do, if you want to improve your craft, you can just go to ArtStation, look at some professional works, and try to replicate what they have done. I want to see something we can do within this time frame. Simple piece. Actually, if I go to the website here, I think let me see this because we didn't complete all of the pieces in this scene. We did the turret. This would take too long. Would it? Let me see. Trying to see if we have some crates. Hello, Pradhan King. How are you doing? Let's create this scene very quickly within the next 20 minutes or so. So I'm just going to. By the way, if you want to get the project files, you can go to my Patreon page, which is patreon.com/top channel 1-on-1. And you can go to socials. Okay, so let's try this in the remaining time. Let's see how fast we can make this. Let's see how fast we can do this. So let's do this quickly. We can start with a plane. Scale it on the X. Let me see. That's what I want here. Just scale it on the Y like that. Extrude up like that. And then I think I'm just going to also push this like this. And I just get my camera. Okay, actually, we don't need this wall either. We can work within this setup like this. We're going to use a lot of pre-made assets because just doing this in the time frame we have will take us too much time. So I'm just going to turn on my shortcuts. You can see them here. I'm going to go to my asset library. Look for some materials. Let's look for some wall materials. I don't know if this would fit this. Just unwrap using box projection or cube projection. This would be a nice start. Donald challenge within 2 minutes. I won't be doing that. So I'm going to, let's see, turn on ambient occlusion, turn on bloom, turn on screen space reflections. I'll amplify the ambient occlusion and the bloom. Like that. We already have the wall. I think I can also add a loop here. And I just select this, assign it to a new material, a new slot like that. I change this color, the wall a bit. So I'll just add a color, mix RGB, a color, mix RGB like that. Hello, folks, Harry. How are you doing? Glad to see you. Just make this reddish. Yeah, I want to just see the reference image. I don't want to change. I'm not sure why that can't be easily done. Just have this. Yeah, you can see already we have something going. I'm going to call this level design. Paste that in. Let's create this wooden, I don't know, piece here. Create. So I'll just start with a cube. Just size it up to the crate. Like that. And I think, actually, I think the best way to create the crates is just start with a plane, scale it like that, apply the scale, give it a few subdivisions like this, maybe subdivide this, give this a solidify modifier, make sure that's matched by distance. Okay, I'm not sure why this is interesting. I'm not sure why that's happening. So let's try adding a plane. Let's try this again. Give this a solidify modifier. Like that. And then a bevel. Auto smooth. Adding normals like that. Then for the texturing, let's see if I have some wood texture. Let me go to a different library, maybe decos furniture. Let me see. I have some more details. Maybe grab this, assign that as the new material, apply the scale. Doesn't look as good as this. Let's see if we can grab maybe this. Yeah, so we can use this as the base, and let's try using Andrew Price's technique of non-texturing painting, but we can, let me just go to my texture folders and grab myself. Yo, thank you for subscribing, Alex Camo. Thank you. Let's go to my Grunge maps. I'll grab this, import it in. This is how it looks. I just make sure that it's using object mapping. Object mapping. Like that, maybe. And this has changed. Just go to UV. Yeah, so I can grab this, use a color, mix RGB, because I want to create a mask. This can be, I think it's a color dodge or color burn. And you can see already we are getting some nice detail. Let's try color burn and see. Actually, let's go with color dodge. See how we are getting some scratches, and we can also just bring back the reference image. You can also add another image, maybe another grunge map, like maybe this, import as a texture here. Just blend with this. This can be a mask. Just add a color ramp here. And I can just use a different color. This time we need to set this to mixed. And now we can just use this as the roughness and this as the base color. And we have now, bring back the reference image. Let me see if I pin this. I hope it doesn't go away. So this is what we have for this. And I can also come to this, add another mix node here. This time we can use a color just to change the color of this a bit, maybe make it something like that. And now with that, we can subdivide this a few times. Maybe just grab this top piece. Now we can duplicate this. And maybe first isolate this for a second. Then just grab these as well. Just quickly doing something. Bro, can I make these type of scenes with an 8GB 1060 laptop? Yeah, I think you can, because I used to use a 1050 laptop. So yeah, you definitely should be able to do this. We quickly trying to create this crate here. again can use the rip. Can make this, turn on proportional editing, make sure that I have this set to connected. Just make this a bit kind of old. By just messing with a few of the edges. It's too reflective, so I'm going to add a math node. Just like that. And I can also just yeah, that's my specs there. And just extrude. I can give this the same material, but I need to duplicate it because this is metallic. So I'm going to give this a metal value, a metal names value of 1, just to see how this would look. And I can go to the here. I think color 1 can just be white. I just unwrap this, unwrap using cube projection. I like that. Just duplicate this. I like that. Maybe just join the two like that. Okay, so we have our case like that. Now we can simply just duplicate them around. Maybe scale them down a bit. Let's start working with our lighting. So I'm just going to go to my, I think, decos, and I want to go to the asset library, search for, let's see if I have some lights here. Yeah, I have some nice lights, but I don't know if they would fit for this. I think this could work, so I'm just going to add that in. I really like this new search feature that I added. Kind of makes finding these assets much easier than before. So let's go to our lighting here. Grab this light, just have it there. So maybe something like 200. I'll go to the world, remove all the light. Yes. Or something like that. Let's see what else can we add. And clear search. Let me see what else can I add here. Let me see. Can I have wires? Do I have wires here? Seems no. Let me see wire. Let me see curve. No. Let's see if I go to my decos, search for curve. search for wire. I have these. Let's grab this as well. I can also add one on the surface. Maybe clear this. See what other things we can add in here. I have this book. I don't know, so I could just throw it somewhere there. Let's see. Let's see what. Yeah, I have a gun here. Can also just add that in the scene. Let me see what else. Let's go to building parts, see what we can. Let me see if I have any doors that I could use here. This is small. Let me see. Let me go to asset pack. Let's go to clear this door. So we have some doors here. Can grab this, add it somewhere there. And we also have a frame. Can use that. Maybe let's make this like somewhere like that. Let's see what else. Let's look for chairs and see. Maybe. Cool. IG, you mean Instagram? Thank you. Thanks for your reply. No problem, Harris Cups. You don't have reverb anymore in your audio? Thank you, thank you. Yeah, it kind of changed. I moved to a different place. I'm trying to, I don't know. I'm also trying to get a camera, see if I could do like have my face in the stream more, so I can make the stream more personal. Let's see, what else can we get here? Let's go to the, first clear the search. Let's go to decos. I think I can add in this wire. Because right now what we're remaining with is just set dressing, nothing more. Yes, grab this, I'll rotate this 90 degrees. And maybe if we like stack these, maybe scale this, it can look like something completely different. Let me see if I have some more lights that I could use here. I think I could grab this, add it somewhere. Point light. Something like that. Just going to grab this light, have it at something like no, let's use a custom distance here. I think now things are starting to look a bit more interesting. And can also grab this, just have it there on the door. This can be 100, like that. Clear this. Let me see in the collection if I have anything interesting. Let me go to Acquis. Okay. Let's create these kind of tank bullets. Maybe that's what they are. Just use a circle here, 16 vertices, extrude up, hit F, just round this off, we scale it, something like that. Can just use the same material as this prime mode, I think it's called prime mode 2. This here, and just use cube projection. Maybe even add these books. Now just placing random objects. Okay, this Blender is hanging or something. It's compiling shaders. Somewhere there. Let's see what else. Let me go to my building pack and see what else I can get from there. I have this bin, I can add it there. Just needs to be scaled a bit. Just have it use the same material as this. Just use cube projection. You can see how easily you can start making things without doing too much work. I can also grab this light as well. Just move it maybe somewhere. And just, I don't like how these wires are hanging. I'm just going to grab them, move them up. Maybe just stand these two vector like that. There. Have them hang like that. Yes, take a look at this again. Let's see. Let me go to my corridor and see what is in here. Not much. Building pack. City pack. I can also have this door here. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't work. Let's grab these pipes. Those ones are not working. This? Yeah, these pipes here. Let me see if I link them to this material. No, I think that's okay. I have some hanging wires that I could add in somewhere there. Maybe even duplicate them. Now our ground is a bit too plain, so let's look for some things to add. Can grab these wires, maybe those can go on the ground. Thank you for subscribing, Staff Packs. Maybe this can go up. Let's go to furniture, see what's in here. have a bunch of random stuff. Yeah, I have these crates here. Wooden crates. I think I need to mirror this on the X, and maybe they have the same material. Actually, let me see if this. It's another thing we could do maybe is like this, less reflective. Let's see, what else can we add in here? Maybe this bed frame. Maybe this is kind of like a military base, obviously with just maybe these are military beds. Just grab this. Just grab this, duplicate it on the X. Have a fire extinguisher here. Add that there. I have this air conditioner, so I'll just drop that in. Yeah, I think that's going to be it. Let's see how this would look in cycles. And call it a day. Yeah, so that's how it looks in cycles. I think I like it better in EV because how we have managed to set up the lights. Anyway, thank you a lot. Thank you for 70 likes. Thank you for being around. I really appreciate it.